Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Let's Play The Great Ace Attorney. We're on the very beginning of case 4. I don't know if we're gonna have like a whole bunch of time in investigation, or if it'll be split, or I don't know. Anyways, we can go to the prison governor's office. The office of the governor of Barclay prison, which stands behind Lowgate Cemetery. We're going to that prison that was all important from the last chapter. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Is this the one that in Fate is like the Blackmore Cemetery or whatever? Is that what it's meant to be a parody of? I don't even know if the one in Fate is also in real life. I like how I imply that Fate is real life, and then real life is secondary behind that. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. I'm sorry, this feels wholly inappropriate for a prison governor's office. I gotta say, the guillotine, grandfather clock, well inspired, is also so deadly. You mustn't bring children here very often. And you might say, well, why would you bring children to a prison? I think I've told the story about how as a kid every year I'd go to the prison for Christmas, right? Like the maximum security prison. And we'd, like, the inmates would be there and they would like put on clown wigs and paint faces, and we'd get gifts. And I didn't know as a kid that everyone that was working there was an inmate. And I'd have to go through like security. There was like a room where you'd get like sprayed down. Yeah. It's one of those parts of my life that I bring up sometimes, multiple times in videos probably, just because I need to tell myself that this happened, to remind myself that it's not a dream and that no, there is pictures of me at the prison. Anyways. Who's this large fella? This place is full of hardened criminals. Oh, I cannot remember the last time a citizen was done here. Oh, no. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. That's a voice for you. Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor, Caidin. Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. Your voice is not what I expect from you. Ah, an Easterner, I see. What does that mean? Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Man whose voice might be a hate crime. Ah, Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes? Well, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh? I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Oh, do you mean the graveyard? Oh, are you super turbo hyper racist? Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but I've no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of me hair. You know, I thought this accent would not have to be used after Horrorvale, but here we are. As soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. You know what this means, Sasato? Let's get the flower. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. Oh, and not just a general prejudice that exists among certain people of certain ideological values. Okay. Oh, you think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Asogi, who I did have the name explained to me. It apparently works out to basically be Gregory Edgeworth somehow. Yeah, I had the thing fully explained. There's deep meaning behind it, but it's all in Japanese. Anyways, the guy, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known! You're sniffing around about the case, aren't you? Wait, a boot? Are you Canadian? No, your name's Caidin. You're definitely not Canadian. Your agents, eh? Part of the professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... I'll get on with you before I punch your lights out. We're going. Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not gonna get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caidin. What are you thinking, Miss Sasato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. It did. Do I remember where? Nope. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. I don't remember who. I'm guessing I can't talk to you. I said get out! Wow, you don't even get a chance. Oh, wow! Bro blocks it immediately. Even presenting? We can present. Hey, did you know I'm a lawyer? Governor Caidin, could I at least show you this? Not the Emiya back. How many times can one man turn his back on you in a sudden conversation? And then he turns right back around because it's too rude to stay but backwards the whole time. Okay. Who was it? We visited this place sometimes, so it's probably there. I feel nervous. Great detective. Okay, so yeah, Great Waterloo. God, I love those little hint texts. You're just chilling here now. You know you have like a room, right? I mean, thank you that you're here, but that's Professor Mikitoba over there. Hello, you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. Where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He went to the nearest pub and wanted to get extra crunk. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today, goodness, he is full of energy. At the nearest pub. Okay, yeah. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caidin, you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners. Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That'd be wonderful if you have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee? That's not a word. You made that up. Now, I have a rather lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know? Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Yeah, but your blue text is out loud. You gotta learn to keep those thoughts to yourself. You Mikitobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. No! See, the thing is, I think just you do it out loud and everyone can hear. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? People argued with me that the blue text was not thoughts and that it's actually always been mumbling under the breath, and that's super not true. Let's not fall out now. This isn't Super Monkey Ball. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. I also took a bite out of the corner so they know it's me. Oh, thank you. The letter of introduction has been added to the court record. Good luck, then. Is it actually have like a bite taken out of it? It kind of does. Blackbird, what is this? Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. Oh. The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th of September. Ooh. I don't know about traveling on that date, guys. London arrival 1st November. Ah, that's the boat Professor Mikitoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Buria. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times, just in case someone's, needs me to say where I came from and I can show it, because that's kind of how it seems to be in London. Oh, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? That's gonna be important at some point. Are we not going to address the nibble in the corner? Professor McToba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least call you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help. Okay, we're not going to talk about the nibble. Okay. Maybe I feel like that will come up. Okay, the missing thing along with the nibble are both important. I'm calling it now. Those details wouldn't be there otherwise. Anyways, we have this. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Caidin. Oh, what's this then? You cannot pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba. That young jock from the forensics laboratory. That Mikotoba. Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Yujin, Mikotoba's daughter, Sasato. Oh, Jings! You're the young man's daughter! And you didn't think to mention that afore? I do apologize. Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And didn't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits. Oh, it's a wee handcuff biscuit. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. Oh, so then, what can I do for you, hen? Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Oh, missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. I haven't heard of nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh, but how can that be? It's Mr. Daley Vigil. Daley Vigil. It is. It's literally like the daily. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now that I'm saying it out loud, yeah. Your chief warder. Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Oh, something wrong? Person who looks actually remarkably like Mike Hagar. How old are you, buddy? 51. Barry, 51, from Britain. Simple as. Except that's not his voice. Seems to be good friends with Professor McToba during the Japanese man's time in Britain as a visiting student. Again, Daley Vigil, former chief warder at Barclay prison. Okay. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. Okay, well, first off, the room. I need to look at this. This grandfather clock is fitted with a terrifying blade that keeps dropping down. It's modeled on the guillotine, a French execution device. You might have heard of it. And yes, before you ask, it can drop heads off, you mean? Heavers, no, carrots and parsnips and so forth. Oh. If you place a large carrot at the bottom there in the morning, by evening you'll have it cut clean in two. Well, the blade must have an almost indescribable edge on it then. That's really sad that it takes that long. What's your thoughts on seeing this gun? An axe, a hunting rifle, and 4 pairs of handcuffs. Sounds like a Friday night to me. Anyways, that's a daunting collection. There's a story behind every one of those. You mean the rifle was a famous killer's murder weapon, and the axe was wielded by an infamous executioner, and the handcuffs were once used to immobilize a fierce, 4-legged beast when it was arrested? I think you're in the realms of fantasy now, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, not those kinds of stories, Jimmy. That's not my name. Oh, okay. All right. My guy's kind of cool. But that axe was the one I used to chop down the cherry tree at my house. Mrs. Caidin wasn't the best pleased. Huh. And the cuffs on the left are the ones I caught my first burglar with back when I was a bobby. The stories were a little different to those you imagined, I think, weren't they? Yeah, to my relief, and in some small way, my disappointment. Is this a real bird? I've never expected to find a parrot in prison. It must be the governor's pet. I'm getting flashbacks. There's no way we're doing this again. Even where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Let me out! Dinna kill me! Those are copied words. That's worrying. Has the bird learned to mimic the plaintive cries of the inmates in the cells? Oh, no. He was one of the 3 siblings, you see. And he still calls out the names of his 2 brothers like that all the time. Right. Let me out! Don't kill me! Aye, I hear you, laddie. You want your dinner, eh? Didn't do it? Okay. So the names are didn't do it, let me out, and don't kill me. Oh my god. That's kind of funny. That's a who's on first sort of thing. Whose pictures are these? I suppose these are all former governors of Barclay Prison, are they? Either that or former inmates who the governor has sent to the gallows. Oh dear, they all have such severe expressions. I really couldn't deny either possibility. Especially the one on the extreme right. His expression goes beyond severe into a whole new territory. Oh, that one's me. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Is it a prerequisite of the job, perhaps? Having a severe expression, I mean? Of course it's not! Although it is taken into consideration. Lot. Okay. The deer? That deer's been staring at me for a while now. It has. The poor thing can't fit through the small hole in the wall. But it can't get its head back out now either. It's giving me a woefully imploring look. It's not real, Mr. Naruhodo, it's stuffed. What? I mean, yeah, of course it is. For a moment I thought it was another assassin sneaking in via the ventilator. Are you stupid? I don't like to say, but I think perhaps you need to reread The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Books? That's a very large cabinet full of papers, isn't it? It's labeled Inmate Register, look. And all the files are in alphabetical order. That's 50 years worth of records of Barclay's inmates. That seems important to know. Whether or not they left alive after serving their term. All the details about the crimes they committed are recorded in there, like an epitaph, you might say. A record of crimes and punishments. How dispiriting. And yet, this man seems to be enjoying tea and biscuits as he talks about it. Nothing new there. Okay. Think. That's that then. Hey, did you know I'm a lawyer? Oh, what's that there then? It's actually the sign of a Japanese defense lawyer. Well, if you have to wear something like that to prove who you are, perhaps I should wear these handcuffs, eh? I think maybe they're more of a sign of the people you catch than you yourself. Aye, that's true. You've got me there, hen. They're not actually a sign of anything, are they? Do you know about the Redhead League? Nope. Governor Caidin, would you have a look at this? Oh, wouldn't you rather... Oh, wouldn't you rather have a wee handcuff biscuit? Oh, no, that's thanks. I'd rather you just cast your eyes over this. Or maybe you prefer real handcuffs, eh? No, not for me, please. Lovely offers, though. Well, at least he respects his predilections. Governor Caidin, would you look at your previous employee? Oh, no, laddie, I don't know. Toity. Nope, okay. Anything else with this? Well, how about that? A friend of Mikatoba turning up after all these years. And his wee bairn, even. My father speaks highly of you, sir. Didn't tell me you spoke this way, though. Do you ken? I don't understand what that phrase means. I can see the resemblance now. Oh. Aye, especially around your eyes. You look dead like him. What an interesting observation. Oh! Oh no! Oh, that was super bad. I didn't even notice. Oh my god. Not the delighted reaction from Sasano-san that he might have been expecting. He literally just hit us with the, oh, you both got those wee quaint little slanted eyes. Like he literally hit, oh no. Anyways, let's talk, I guess. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Yeah, we kind of got spoiled on that slightly when we checked out this here, right? He was the former chief warder. Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh my. When was this exactly? There is a question. When was it about? It cannot have been much less than, 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago? Aye, as I minded, I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though. But Miss Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caidin, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? Oh, that's, important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago, which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. Do this one first. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine, but you seem to have been well acquainted. Oh, the dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with each other. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. You can. Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Oh, your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard, in the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. St. Sinners? That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there. Oh, Mikatoba and I often used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose? Aye, and we used to sit in here for hours and gab about dissection and all sorts. Oh, takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cough biscuits, of course. How charming. He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. I mean, you use tiny little sticks while you eat. That's not the way you do it. You use your whole gobbin hands. Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Oh, but change of music. So, Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of Chief Warder 10 years ago, you're telling us. What happened to make him leave the job? In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry? A walk? Like what you cook in? Aye, that's our word for it. In here? A walk to the gallows. Oh, okay. Oh, an execution. It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and... Oh my god, you actually use a tree? Oh my god. I don't oversee any executions, you see? Only Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. What did he do? I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you it's Vera. I've never seen Vera. I can tell you it's very rare. Oh, how do I say that in a sentence? But I can tell you that it's very rare for our chief warder to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. Oh, I wouldn't have cared anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be, Hen? That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am, but I'm at no liberty to answer that. I see. Can we go through your books? Well, I cannot tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one moment before you're away, Hen. Oh, I'm sure I have it here somewhere. He carries an... I didn't even see that axe. I didn't see that axe till he was there. I found it. Here, take this a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. What is it? That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's not trouble at all. It's not the original mind. His dismissal notice has been entered in the harsh reprimand incurred by Mr. Vigil 10 years ago, the result of him losing his job. Okay. Thank you very much, Governor Caidin. I'm going to look at this right now. A notice of dismissal, 25th of June. Chief Warder Daley Vigil is relieved of his post with the immediate effect of having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are... Okay, so he's not getting paid. Oh well, aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict blank just prior to the execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation, Prison Governor Barry Caidin. Additional notes. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Okay. Well, in return... Oh yeah, there's the axe. Do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. I feel like we're gonna come back here at some point. I feel like we're gonna come back here. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yeah, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with when we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? Huh. And he's gone. Decorations here in the governor's face are as terrifying as each other. Father certainly seems to be enjoying the relaxing atmosphere. I also feel nervous here. Wonder if Mr. Sholmes is still at home. Okay. That's what we do. Are you still red, buddy? 1st of November. Sholmes. Sweet. We're back. Hello, you two. Who's this? Oh, okay. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. So that's what the delicious smell is. You're Ryu from Breath of Fire 4. You are now Ryu from Breath of Fire 4. That exact shade of blue is Ryu from Breath of Fire 4. Oh my god. Okay. Alright. Greetings, my dear fellows. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Does anyone want to turn into a dragon? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Well, at least your feet didn't grow. Okay, listen. I know I said that completely out of pocket, but there is a train of thought here. I just posted on social media this stupid clip from Sonic Underground called Sonic Tonic. And so I connect the word tonic. And that's an episode where in Sonic Underground, the villains, as well as Sonic's brother and sister, Sonia and Manic, they drink this potion that lets them run as fast as Sonic. And the after effects is it makes their feet grow, right? Very weird episode. So my brain immediately connected it, and I said that out loud without considering the context of it. Just sounds completely out of nowhere to say it, okay? So just know that it wasn't out of pocket. It was very much in pocket. It was just a very strange pocket to dig around in. Anyways. Oh, my. Pray, tell me, what of our water friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yes, something very surprising, in fact, though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that... Sholmes, who's this? Oh, Gina. Drop everything, Sholmes. Oh, wait. Okay, I gotta go from... I gotta change my mental register. Right, I gotta go British. This is more important. Gina? Oh? I can't Adam and Eve it. That means believe it. Uh-huh. What's happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. But Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. Is Gregson dead? What do you mean? Inspector Gregson? The boss he's... Oh my god! He's dead? What? They just found his body shot with a pistol. What? But Inspector Gregson, he was murdered. No, not Gregsy. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. I'm kind of shaken up myself. I feel like they won't actually kill him. Hey, did you know I'm a lawyer? Gina, I wanted to show you this. No, what am I thinking? It's hardly the time, is it? Okay. Tell me about this. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. When did this take place? A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss was He was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Ginny. Damn. So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Oh, already? I swear to God, if it's who I think it's not Cosma, is it? They've caught the shooter so soon? A witness reported something was going on, and my boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What awful person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It's either Kazuma or it's Barrock. Calling it now. Oh. Well, that could be multiple people. It was the Reaper. That doesn't explain who that could be. Could be multiple. But wait a minute, you don't mean... Oh, are we going with Zieks? They've arrested Lord Van Zieks for it? That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss. No, Lord Van Zieks? Really? Okay. I ain't quite sure, Miss Lestrade. It's Barrock Van Zieks the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They've heard the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. Yet another closed room murder. We're doing another one. It's been a while since we've done one. But there's no way Lord Van Zieks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. It's really his most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come in as soon as you can. You've got to help. Did you send him there? Did you send him there for something? It's a detective's lot to appear whenever some sinister plot has unfolded. No wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes? What use is there in being a great detective? I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Oh, you're really shaken up about it being Gregson. Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zieks arrested. Bruno, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Sasato? Yes. Hey, yeah, we gotta go. Right? Prison in Fresno Street. Well, let's go to prison first, right? Which is just a sentence I wouldn't expect to say, but here we go. Where he's being held. Bro is reading. Local prison, cell 1. There he is. Lord Van Zieks behind bars. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he noticed us. Lord Van Zieks. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be. With the last person on Earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. That's a phrase the Ace Attorney fandom would probably stick to, you know? Okay. The joke is yaoi. Ace Attorney is yaoi. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. Why are you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with this information. As to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain. Oh, of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never minces his words, but they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Okay. Yeah, let's talk. What happened? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zieks? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street, and that you were found there by police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told there was nobody else in the room, and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. And you're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. He's going to need a lawyer, though. And is no one gonna pick him up? Anyways, tell me about the letter. After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Guess the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, though it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now? He is. Okay. Well, someone's got to defend you. Who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. And believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you, unlike the people who detained me. I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in court of law, sadly. That is another line straight to the Yowie books. Oh my goodness. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you, Nipponese. But please, I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Wow, that's twice today we've been told this. And neither of us will waste any more time. Oh? That makes it sound like he wants us to be investigating, though. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Okay. Yeah, let's go to Fresno Street then. Let's see what's going on here. That's a picture of a female. Okay. Room on Fresno. That's a body there. There's a couple bobbies. There's a toy thing. Huh. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. This dust-ridden, rented old room is where it happened then. That's a red wig. Oh no. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. Sorry, this looks like suicide. Just from the way it is there, right? I don't see Sholmes anywhere, though. That is Sholmes on the left. I see him. He's right there. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere. That is clearly him. Oi, what do you think you're doing there? Every one of them jaws has got to be taken right out so we can look underneath and all. I want the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey, ain't you lot ever gone over a house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? Oh, Gina's obviously got some unique investigative technique she wants everyone to adopt. That's a good turn. Oh, so you turned up at last. Oh, no, we're mixing voices. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Sholmes is only just left. You're lucky you missed that. I went prancing around in here, pointing out stuff and flicking that at of his and just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't stop saying nothing to no one, not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Odo, you're a lawyer, right? Yes, why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are ya? Oh, poor Gina, this is rough. She's never gonna forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah? Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened in here. Thank you, Gina. Well, first off, you are clearly Sholmes. Excuse me? Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Poor man, he can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Maybe not. Thought he was from the back of the hair, but I guess not. Fireplace? An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. I think it'd be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all, and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Okay. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. Okay. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are, look! Mr. Naruhodo, quickly! Okay. Wait. What? What are we doing? How? What? What are we doing? Oh my god. Why do I feel this woman is familiar somehow? Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. It's Mrs. Vigil! This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here? Oh, I have no idea how this links all together. To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. That's crazy. Mrs. Vigil in her younger years. She's not even that old right now, is she? Is she? Okay, I mean, 30s. Okay, 36. I look at that, I'm like, that's not too old. But of course, I forget this is a game made in Japan, so she might as well be 99 years old at that age. This looks like some sort of notice board or something. And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Mr. Naruhodo, look. This, you mean, it's an autopsy report, isn't it? And these are case notes here and details of prison inmates. Yeah, in fact, they're all the sort of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. And this one here. Oh yeah, the advertisement, you mean? To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. Huh. Okay. The top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind it. Look. Wow. Suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, which means that the person must have been on the ground because it's so high up, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. That's crazy, because that's pretty high up, I feel, right? Yeah. Like, look, well, okay, maybe not. We don't know where he was shot. Okay. Windows? Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least let in some light, so you could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way. Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zieks playing with something like this. That'd be really funny. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful, after all, in a way. Yeah, what if we can look at it? Gotta be something. This is the sort of thing that you know there's something about it. It looks like the head can screw off. The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. Boy, that's almost penis-shaped. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yeah, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed I don't like, can we not use these words with the shape of that? Almost as if someone has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too? For fun? Oh. Is that a bobby stick? What's that? It appears to be some sort of key. It's tiny though. It couldn't be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder? Key-like shaft to pop out from the base. Okay, no, that is a key. That almost looks like a gun. This looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? What's it for? What if it's a gun, though? What if it's a tiny gun? For babies? Do we look at this? That looks... See, that part looks weird, right? There are some black marks here, look! Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Okay. Okay, I think the rest is fairly standard. That is a candle. Actually, is there anything about the photo here? Oh no, it's just the same. Okay. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is! A bright red hairpiece. And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it? And in such flame-colored red, too. Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. Presumably belonged to Inspector Gregson. Okay. I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. It doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head. Bird lime? What the frick is bird lime? Doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think? What the frick is bird lime? That must be an old type of glue. Anything to say, Mr. Man? Excuse me? If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry, we'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. Okay, hello? Excuse me?
Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir.
Right, perhaps I'd leave you to your work then. Gun. This is presumably the murder weapon then. Oh my, it is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's only one way to know for sure, Miss Naruhodo. Fire a shot. No, 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 no. If I did that, I'd be looking for a real skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just ask someone who might know, I think. The killer's revolver has been entered into the court record. Okay. Okay, we got a little key ring here. I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my, it is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare. This is the exact same dialogue. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms could shed a light on things here. Do we really have nothing to say about it? They're literally... Oh, this is a really scary image, actually. Like, I actually jump scared myself seeing that. They're so scared to look at it. That's kind of really funny. I suppose this is where the victim... That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Or Inspector Gregson himself had already been taken away. And would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now, not for what happened last week. In the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. That's really sad. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than in reality. That's why visual novels are better as horror games than horror games, in my mind, for scary stuff, because the fear of what's in your mind is stronger than whatever could be put on screen. Sasato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. I think that's about everything, huh? I think so, at least. Okay. Nothing else here. Okay, well. Do you know anything about this fella? Gina, what do you make of this?
What was that? Evidence? Work something out about what happened, have you?
Oh, no, not exactly.
I ain't been long enough in the job to get all this deducting business yet. But I swear I'm gonna get the person what did this to the boss.
Okay, let's see here. You know anything about her? No, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, we'll see here. Okay, you might know about the gun. Gina, well, oh, Gina literally is also like, I don't know about no guns, because she didn't use them, I bet. Okay, in that case, let's just talk. Okay, tell me about Inspector Gregson. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what, half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Oh, something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out he's a bit of a legend at the yard.
Goodness, really?
They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
He did?
Yep, and ever since then he started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
Oh, he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all, and look what landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I don't say as much. I'll take my hat off to that fella with his words.
Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard.
He said something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after the people what are bad. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. Huh. Anyways, the crime scene. What is this place then? Does anybody live here?
Apparently it's been rented by some cove named Hugh
Boone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Mungus? Hugh Boone. It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, lad, isn't it?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right. All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation, but there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves. I do wonder. Yes, Mrs. Sato? Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I'd never even considered that. Nice work, Suze. You're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are? If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
I should really investigate this place in detail. I did. Anyways, the incident.
I see that's where the poor inspector was found. Over there. Yeah, that's right. I said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck that candle tree on the wall. Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. And the gun used there is on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Well, take it easy. Well, I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. Well, there's some bigwig lawman or whatever said it. What'd you ask him?
Bigwig lawman, is it? Wait, Jigoku?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside of where the gun shot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. Oh, we're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling.
Think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. Our lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping around for, and you'll be up for a grilling and all.
We can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Wig? No wig? Okay, wig snatched. I see. I understand. Doll? Nope. Okay. Okay, well, probably nothing else then. Double check to see if there's nothing new that we get updated. Bigwig. Oh, why don't we just bring this to him and be like, yo, is this your gun? Okay. Yep. I fear we're not in a position. Shall we visit somewhere else first? Father, I don't believe we visited. Oh! Lord Chief Justice. Can we be like, hey, you know about guns? 1st November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. Who? I hear Lord Strongheart, can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh! You're the Reaper. Like the Reaper, huh? Absolutely. You're the one who did all the killing. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's Kazuma-sama. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. I believe only in the facts, and the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Ah, but of course. You're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings as the prosecutor. Leading the prosecution. There it is. I knew this was coming. Wait, what? Kazuma. As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. They use the phrase practitioner of law like, practicer of, magic. Like, they treat it like the word mage in this world. Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor. Damn. You know anything about guns? Could I show you this, Lord Strongheart? I'm the Lord Chief Justice. Oh, never mind. That's the same one as before. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So. Tell me about the trial. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the docket. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or has been, at least. Until now. No. Tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Anyways, tell me about Prosecutor Asogi. So, I just realized he has a cravat. The same is a blood red cravat, but just like Edgeworth, no way. So, Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Anyways, tell me about guns. Oh, yeah, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zieks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. You give prosecutors guns? What the frick? That's a wild thing to do. In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zieks? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. Isn't that the plot of Disco Elysium? In short, it's more than a little suspicious. Just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zieks. Damn. I doubt you have anything to say about any of this, huh? Probably not. Visit somewhere else. Oh, can I talk with... Oh, yeah, that's probably a good choice. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be all right now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma-sama, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? It was the voice. Like the show with Simon Cowell and the chairs? This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Rip off your skin. Come on. Take your skin off. Feels uncomfortable, doesn't it? Remove your skin. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. What do you mean by that? Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
First time we're gonna hear that for a while. Before you go, Ryunosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma-sama, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh. I actually have a favor to ask. Which is? This trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends, right in front of me, as the defense counsel. Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, He recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. Okay, Gregson. And I'm guessing that's his brother. And look at that smile. So full of love and hope. That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson. In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Gregson's photograph, a treasured memory. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours of the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? He's really, trying to set us up for this. I feel like he's playing 5D chess. This was all a part of Kazuma and Sholmes' plans and stuff. I feel like it's wrapping around to be entirely them who've planned everything from the start or something. Lord Van Zieks is still reading that letter. God, he reads slow. 1 page. He'd been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such uninsulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that. The case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. In other words, no. You were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for the trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. Tell me about this gun. What's that? It's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all. It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means. Alright, I get the message, but I don't see what's illegal about me asking. Can we use this? Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Details added. Yep. It had to be, really. Apparently this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Okay, well, let's actually talk then. 10 years ago, my older brother, who was director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't quite understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you, Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. Can you tell us why you're racist, buddy? I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother... Okay, well, I mean, we know the reason why. But really, the actions of one man is enough to disgrace an entire group of people? I guess that's how most racists go, huh? My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer. The so-called professor, assigned to the investigation as his partner, was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. Whoa, song. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the professor case inquiry, Lord Males Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then, early this year, who should arrive in London but you? And of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in court. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years that hatred had festered inside me, I could no longer control it. And I can understand why. Now I know the history. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I'm the bane of his. The Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Tell me about Gregson a bit more. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean. It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh, The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. He wore a red wig. Sounds like the mystery is even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. It plays his theme. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed, and my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. Something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. Inspector Gregson. Your gun. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That I don't know. Oh. I was issued it with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. No, this has nothing to do with me, don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh! That's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. There's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Or Van Zieks. From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother Clint, and Genshin Asogi. And he idolized the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? No. Sorry, I don't advocate for racists. Walk out. Yeah! No, it's not gonna happen. Of course I will. It'll be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. And my life is in your hands. Dang. We got in. For Lord Van Zieks. That must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma. To be continued? To be continued! Dang! Wow, we're really going into this case with almost nothing! We have nothing! That's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough one. Alright guys, we're continuing on. Trial 4, Part 1. We'll see you guys next time for some more of Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Ciao.
Yo.